Welcome to 8 Unedited Minutes brought to you by thenetworkinggroup.org. We all have lost connections and forgotten rolodexes. How can we re-engage with those potentially valuable connections and build meaningful relationships? I discuss how to do that in this episode with my guest, Michael Goldberg. In addition to being the founder of thenetworkinggroup.org, Michael is a speaker, trainer, coach, and the author of Knockout Networking for Financial Advisors and Other Sales Producers. For over 25 years, Michael has been a knockout training resource to financial advisors and now attorneys that are serious about growing their business through networking and referrals. We dive into topics including why chasing the next new contact or new event isn't always the best approach to networking, how to do more than just reconnect with old friends and actually build your business when reconnecting, why asking for advice is one of the best conversation tools you have at your disposal, the one thing above all else that you need to do to successfully reconnect with lost networking connections, and other golden nuggets of advice. You're going to love this show. Michael, thank you for joining me for 8 Unedited Minutes. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you right back, Mark Carter.
And we're going to be talking about the forgotten Rolodex, LinkedIn connection list, database, whatever you want to call it. Before you get into what you should do, what do you see people doing wrong when it comes to building relationships in networking?
You know, when I think about the forgotten Rolodex, very often when I want to talk about it, I forget what I wanted to talk about. But what it is that as great networkers tend to be, we always look for the better introduction, kind of the next thing, the next connection. I want to meet the new person, go to the new group, and that's all great stuff. I think you need that genetic makeup in order to be a great networker. But often we forget about literally the thousands of contacts that we have in our phone, literally. And it's not even like on LinkedIn where we may have thousands or tens of thousands, and many of them we don't know. Like they end up there, we really don't know them. But on our phone, most of these people we do know. And we forget the power of just strumming through a certain letter, the A's, Albert, and pressing the button when you're stopped at a light or you've got a break. And Albert, if you had a connection with him, will probably pick up. And there's that uptick, Mark, there's that uptick, when they come back to you. And these are people that we could reconnect with, and we could help one another. Like we could just do this really and never go to another networking event. I think about that. All you have to do is just go to your phone and maybe reach out to 5 people every day. And as long as we're collaborative and how can we help one another, and that's the approach. I mean, you could just build a business off the contacts we already have.
So what does that look like? Take me through it. You're at the light, you got your headset in, you hit send, you hit dial, I should say, because we're not talking about texting necessarily, but sending and dialing. What does that conversation look like? You haven't talked to me in 6 months. What does it look like? What do you say?
Oh, it's the M's. Mark Carter. I haven't spoken to him since the last time I was in Chicago. M. Mark, hey, what's going on? I was just thinking about you. It has been way too long. Totally my fault. What is going on with you? You got a couple of minutes? So then I would just ask questions. What is going on with you? What have you been up to? What's different since the last time we spoke? What are you focused on? And since Mark is a friend of mine, he's going to come right back to me and say, what have you got going on? All of a sudden, you've got this really fun banter. Now it's not about getting to know each other. We already know each other. It's just catching up with one another. And that ends up being a great phone call because then it just turns into, what are some things you're focused on that maybe I can help you with? And you're going to say the same thing. And look, now we're having a networking conversation. And it was in our phone the whole time. I mean, think about it that way.
So what do? You make the connection, you reconnect, it's great. How do you, without being pushy or overbearing, how do you make it so it's not another 6 to 12 months in between the calls? What do you do to foster a relationship once you make the reconnection?
I just simply ask them. I say, Mark, I take full responsibility, although I'm going to blame you a little. Ha, 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 right? I'm going to blame you that I have not stayed in touch. And what can we do about that to make sure that we don't lose, so much, connection? One thing that I would do is I would say I'm very active in networking groups, and would you like to come to one of mine? Or is there something that you're into that maybe I can come to? Because as soon as we start to go to events and go to stuff, and there's something to invite people to, now it's really much easier to stay better connected. Or it could just be as simple as, why don't we just sort of put it on the calendar and just put it down that every 6 weeks that we reconnect and we catch up. So it could be whatever it is, but you just got to own the fact that, I'm not going to allow so much time to get by. And we can't do that with thousands of contacts, right? We can't. But we can do it with a handful of them. We can do it with some, and that's the thing. So, and that's where target market comes from. That's where, your strategy comes from, is now starting to think about the people. I know this is a little selfish, but at the end of the day, right? So it's thinking about the people that you like the most, that matter the most, that you think you could be most collaborative with regard to business.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. It's one thing to reconnect with friends, and that's great. And we all need friendships. I give you that. How do you make it? How does it translate from "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" and not every call, but enough? How does "Hey, buddy, how you doing" convert into growing a business as an entrepreneur?
Well, a lot of it comes from asking about the other person. Mark, what's going on in your business? And then offering myself as a resource to be helpful. How can I help you with that? And then that's when it should flip and say, well, here are some of the things that I'm up to. Is there a way that you could be helpful to me with that? This is who I'm looking to meet. This is the type of work that I'm looking to do. I think it's really easy to talk business with people, provided that you're asking about their business first. Like, it's got to be collaborative. It can't be pitchy. It can't be, but that's how you turn a friendship into more of a business connection, is that you talk business. And again, it can't be in a pitchy, salesy way. It's got to be in a collaborative, maybe you can help me with, or I'd like your advice on. Like, who doesn't like to give advice or be asked for advice, right? So as soon as you open up that little bit of permission marketing, you got a conversation.
And tell me if I'm on point and I heard you correctly. To have that call and eventually have some convert into business, you ask them about them. This is important, I think. And tell me if I'm right, that you first ask them, what are you working on? Who do you need to know? Is that correct?
Well, I typically do that because I'm very curious. I want to hear what's going on with other people. I don't want it to come across as one-sided, because I truly am interested and I truly do want to help. So I think it's just got to be that way. It's got to be. It's funny. Most of my work, as you know, Mark, is within financial services. So I work with a lot of financial advisors. So advisors always ask me, how do I bring up business with people that I'm friendly with, or if I'm at a party, or if I'm out with my wife? How do I bring up business and prospect? And I said, well, it's really tricky because you're not in a prospecting environment. But having said that, as soon as you ask people over the pool table, over a drink, over Mardi Gras, over whatever the situation is, and say, well, just curious, what do you do for work? As soon as you open up that, it changes everything, because then they'll tell you, and then you can say, well, I'm a financial advisor, or I do podcasts, or whatever your thing is. Now all of a
Mhm.
sudden you're opening the opportunity up to have a business conversation. And again, not prospecting per se, but at least you open up the doors to be able to start to have that type of conversation.
This is awesome. We have covered a lot of ground in a short period of time, very short period of time in this case. When it comes to remembering and initiating calls with the lost Rolodex, so whether it's something you said or something you haven't touched on yet, if you were to say, if you're going to do it, at least do this one thing. At least do this one thing. What would you tell people to do?
I would say, if nothing else, every single day after you brush your teeth in the morning, pick up your phone, which shouldn't be a stretch, go into contacts and scroll through and pick a letter, and pick one person. I guarantee a person on your screen, I don't care what the letter is going to be somebody that you say, you know what? I should give that person a call. If you do that once a day after you brush your teeth, I guarantee you there will be a return.
This has been awesome. Thank you. And if people want to find you online, where's the best place or places to go?
Knockoutnetworking.com. That's the name of my company, is Knockout Networking LLC. Or I lead a national networking group called, wait for it, the Networking Group. So you can go to thenetworkinggroup.org for more information.
This has been awesome. I appreciate you, Michael.
Right back at you. Thanks, Mark.
And scene.